Welcome back, guys. Today, we're doing a video that I usually do every year during the Christmas season, and that's when I predict the 5 games on NBA Christmas. Now, normally, I don't do a lot of NBA predictions on this channel because, let's be real, predicting all 83 games is going to be very boring and tedious. I know there's a YouTuber out there that does that. This is not one of them. But the NBA has pretty much like the NFL on Thanksgiving. The NBA usually has it locked on Christmas until the NFL decides to dive in and steal their market. But the slate of games we got, yeah, let's just dive into them. And oh yeah, another thing, I will not be putting down. Normally, I have the spreads out for who's favored and who's not. This, well, for this particular video, I will not be doing that, as I'm just going to make blind guesses on who do I think is going to win on Christmas Day. And we're going to start off with the Cleveland Cavaliers taking on the New York Knicks. And the Cavs, they're currently 7th in the East, while the Knicks, 2nd in the East, and winners of that in-season tournament that no one really cares about. Christmas in the Madison Square Garden. Yes, I wish it was in TD Garden, but Boston got shut out of Christmas for the first time, I think, in a decade. But outside of my own bitterness towards that, this game, the Knicks, I think they're playing pretty good basketball. They're because they're finally using that thing called a bench. I'm taking the Knicks to win this one. Cleveland, yeah, let's just move on. And then we got a really good matchup in the West. We got the San Antonio Spurs taking on the OKC Thunders. And if I'm correct, Spurs are one of 3 teams that have beaten the OKC Thunder. I think the Spurs beat them in that tournament to get them in that championship game where the Spurs ultimately lost. And the Thunder, right now, they're gunning for that record. Where, in my opinion, I think they're going to come up short, but they're going to have but they got the West on lock. So, looking in this matchup, Wemby versus Shea, two of the younger teams in the NBA right now. I'm actually kind of, and again, I'm pretty excited for this one. But I think OKC is going to get their revenge in this one. I'm going to go with the Thunder to win, but I would not be surprised if the Spurs pull it off. And now we got two kind of disappointing teams this year. The Dallas Mavericks taking on the Golden State Warriors. Mavericks 11th in the West, which, okay, I mean, it's outside looking in, yes, but from where they were about a month ago, this team was a mess. And I'm not going to get into detail because again, I don't follow the NBA religiously like some other folks. But Nico should have been fired last year. He held on to that job a month, 3 months too long after whatever that trade was. But for Golden State, we all know the dynasty is coming to an end. It's just, yeah, it's disappointing. So I'm gonna make a blind pick. I'm gonna take Golden State to win this one. But again, it's another one that could. These two teams are just very disappointing in my eyes. And keeping things in the West, in fact, Christmas in the West, there's a lot of games involving that conference. Just one game in the East this year. We got the Rockets taking on the Lakers. Lakers are currently 4th in the West, while the Rockets are 6th in the West. And the Lakers, I'll say this, they were playing good ball till LeBron came back. But LeBron, he's still got a lot of energy for his 40. He's going to be 40. I think he's going to be 41 later on this month. I just forgot what age he is. Taking on KD's Rockets. And for this one, I'm taking the Lakers to win. But let me ask this question. Will this be LeBron's final NBA on Christmas Day game? That answer is going to be determined. And last but not least, we got the Minnesota Timberwolves taking on the Denver Nuggets. I told you there was a lot of games I told you there was a lot of games involving the West this Christmas. Right now, Denver's quietly third in the West, and Minnesota is fifth in the West. Again, Denver's one of the top teams in the NBA that no one tends to talk about. Minnesota, I think they had like a little bit of a slow start, but they're starting to get things together. And in this game, okay, I feel like I've picked home team after home team after home team, but I'm actually going to flip on y'all. I'm going to take Minnesota to get a road victory on Christmas against the Denver Nuggets. And yeah, that pretty much wraps up the NBA on Christmas predictions. I know I'm not the biggest expert of the National Basketball Association, but I love making predictions on Christmas Day because it's usually the NBA's day to shine. And on that note, that wraps up the prediction. So tell me what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Gamble safely. Have a happy holidays. I'll see you next time.